That old Bristol's hard to beat, though. It was hard to beat. And that's a different era of car and racing and style of racing. So it's just everything was totally different at that particular time. But no matter the racetrack, when you look up and see 160,000 seats, it's a pretty massive stadium.
Cool. Yes,
yeah,
it is.
Very cool.
The last great Coliseum.
It says cool all over it.
Yeah, it really does. And I want to go back some years to 2001.
I can't wait. 2001 or 2000?
Or 2002, sorry. I keep screwing that up.
That's okay.
2002. And the incident with Greg Biffle. And this is so funny. Well, not this part. I'm more
Kevin's
not this
right
part.
now.
But when you like flew out of nowhere, it's like some Matrix move into Greg Biffle. How did you even do that? I don't
Well, the battle with Biffle didn't really start there. I mean, Greg raced a little bit on the West Coast. We'd raced trucks. We'd done all kinds of stuff. But at that particular time period,
get on up there.
God almighty. At that particular time, I had a lot of bad influences around me at that time. Really, that would egg me on to do stuff like that.
We're if you're watching on YouTube,
pay you to do it. then they would. When they find you. Now they would bring you in and shake your hand and say, "Hey, can you do that again? That was great." But it was definitely one of those moments that was I planned that out for hundreds of laps.
Did you? I was going to ask how premeditated the
very premeditated. And I don't know that I actually planned on jumping over the car like that. So it was just kind of run down there. And that was the avenue that was open to get to him.
You weren't going to get there.
Luckily, I was somewhat agile. I wouldn't say athletic. I would just say agile.
That's a ninja move.
Point.
You're pretty spry.
Very
You're
Matrix, like I said.
In your younger years.
Yes.
He's not like tearing his Achilles.
No, not doing that. He wasn't worried about it either, as you can tell.
About it, but it was Biffle and I battled for a number of years through the Busch Series and in the Cup Series, and we had just come off of 2001. And I would call that some of the learning moments of my career. Trying to worry more about the show than actually what you were supposed to be doing in the car. And it's a balance to be able to say, okay, I need to, there are certain elements because it is a show. And in some ways you are, you are responsible for your own brand and the messaging and everything that comes with that. So it wasn't all bad when you did stuff like that to be able to jump over the car and cause some chaos. And,
did you get in trouble? You get to sit down after that?
I was always in trouble.
Were you?
Remember, he was the bad boy.
I know. I was going to let him say it.
And I think that one probably cost me. That's when we started having a slush fund for penalties.
Okay, so how much that cost?
The financial guys would just they would just budget $100,000 a year to give away to NASCAR, and now I think that one cost me $50
by itself.
Oh yeah.
That's a hefty.
That's kind of surprising, but you deserved it.
You deserved it. At Richmond one year when we had
Ricky Rudd.
When we had the Ricky Rudd incident, Richard made me pay the whole team's fine. That one cost me like $175,000.
That one probably was a little bit more. You were at a different time too at that point too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You had
big fines.
Yeah. He had it backed up.
I said GD on the air, and then they stood us in the hauler, and it was a 21 team and my team, and and I just remember Mike Helton walking in the back door, and at that time he was pretty heavy, and he came in, and when he was so mad that every piece of his skin was vibrating as he came up in. And he came up in that lounge, and it was myself and Ricky Rudd and the team owner sitting in there, and he said, "You motherfuckers just caused a bench clearing brawl in the middle of everything that I'm doing." And I mean, just shaking the whole time. So it was a pretty intense conversation, to say the least.
That is very intense. I love that.
Nothing screams more intense than Mike Helton that mad.
Dude.
Nothing tops Kevin's story time.
No, like when he sprinkles them in, it's my favorite time.
Yeah.
The Bristol stuff though with Greg, that time you guys were racing so much together too. And like you said, you're both from the West Coast. But like Greg was on his upswing the same time. I feel like he was winning a lot. Like he was almost the first guy to win a championship in all 3 series.
He was. And
he would have been. He
did doing that. And
you would have thought he would.
At that time, Roush was on top of their game. He had just won 1 or 2 Truck Series championships.
2 trucks, I think, and then one Xfinity
Busch Series championship. Yeah. So I think that was his. I think 02, 03, somewhere in there. I don't remember his first year of Cup, but yeah, I mean that was definitely an intense rivalry because we were racing at the front all the time.
Yeah.
So it boiled over that day.
You had a rivalry also with your eyeglasses in a weird way.
I did.
In a way.
Yes.
I remember watching this live and just I was shocked that those eyeglasses survived the impact of your helmet. Obviously, the situation here with Chase Elliott happened. You were upset. You put the helmet down, and the glasses survived. And that's such a win. I would say
as mad as I ever was.
Look at the
literally look crazed, like so angry.
Josh is like, oh God, we only have one pair of those. We
you know that part of Wolf of Wall Street when he's like, I ain't leaving. That was the face that you were giving right there.
It was so. And the funny part about the story about those glasses, I had started wearing the glasses a couple years before that when we had the dirt race at Bristol for the first time. So I started wearing glasses and I was like, wow, this is really good. But I hated the glasses that I started with. So I migrated to just trying different pairs of glasses, and I wound up with those glasses right there. It was the only pair that I had. They had metal arms on them, and there was a pair of Hugo Boss glasses that fit inside my helmet so nice, and the frames were narrow. And if those would have fallen down, I don't know what I would have done because it would have been major catastrophe if I didn't have my glasses.
Well, for our podcast views that are just listening, go to the YouTube.
Yes,
get the
watch
clip,
it
watch
immediately.
it all over again on repeat for a little bit. So
would that be like? I mean, I'm sure that was a meme.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that went viral.
I'm pretty sure our boy Josh over here made it go viral.
He did.
Yeah,
okay.
I looked it up today to remind everyone of that moment because I was just like shocked watching it. But you were just so angry.
I was so mad. I felt like I was yelling at my kids.
Why didn't you? I remember you said that in the interview.
Yeah.
Why didn't you? Okay, question. You didn't take your helmet off right away.
I was so mad. I just got right out of my car and went straight there. I didn't care.
Okay.
I didn't care what people said. I didn't care if they would like my helmet on. I didn't care about.
You still had your glove on.
God,
too.
I'd be scared of you.
Particular point.
Like,
and then it got a little more intense, and I actually wound up peeling the B post off that car as they were trying to pull me away. So
he's got the finger in the face.
I was enraged, and the crazy part about this whole it didn't end because after this all ended, then we wound up crossing paths again as we were walking to our haulers, and we actually wound up inside the 9 hauler. Just chasing myself and talked it out and were able to just not agree, but come to a mutual understanding of why each other was frustrated at that particular time. But I got so fed up with the media and I'm like, let's just go in your hauler right there. And Josh was like, can you believe, why would you go in his hauler? I'm like, I didn't care. I did not care one bit. It didn't matter to me what happened inside that hauler. We were going somewhere away from all the media that wanted to listen to everything that we were saying, but it needed to be hashed out.
Do you think it's your wrestling background that just makes you prone to like fight certain?
I don't know.
It's like, now that you mention it.
Because there's another epic.
I think it just might be my temper.
Oh.
The wrestling background probably helps back up your temper a little bit back then, but not now. The last thing I want to do is get in a fight.
Right.
I'll be honest, the finger in my face
would have aggravated you.
Yeah, that kind of puts me over the top. Like that would have
finger in your face.
Yeah, like because I would have ripped
to a veteran. Yeah.
Well, just like to me, if you were doing that to me, if you put your finger in your face, like you're schooling me about no, that ain't gonna fly. We're gonna go fisticuffs.
Fisticuffs.
I know that my blood pressure was up.
We sensed that.
Have you ever been in a fight?
Yes.
One fight.
Never at the racetrack.
Okay.
But it wasn't really a fight.
Did you get punched or did you punch somebody?
No, these two guys were fighting at Saeed's.
Yeah.
Saeed's. Yes.
They were fighting and I was like, okay, this is cool to watch. Let me watch this for a minute. And then the one guy won. Right? He had
a fight.
Yeah, he had obviously won. Like the other guy was
What would you declare winning? Like knocked out on the floor?
No, he wasn't knocked out, but he like was getting to that point where he was stopped defending himself.
Hey, race fans, thanks for watching our video. For all NASCAR on Fox News, content, and the best clips from Fox Sports, be sure to follow and subscribe to our channel.